But anyways, Jet, we are already late, so let's start the show.
Um, yeah.
Play the intro music. That's the wrong button. Jet, we did it. We completed a week of Savage Prague, and we cleared.
You did it.
I
I
did
didn't
it.
complete anything.
Well, you and the World Race Team were tracking. That was an incredible
Yeah,
job to you. But Jet, if you were to
quick.
if you were to write about this, how would you do it?
I would I would talk about how close the end it
Yeah,
was.
the end was really close. I don't know. Sorry, one moment. I don't know if anyone saw the race over the weekend, but the race was incredibly close. It was
You know,
mind-bogglingly close. Um,
like
that's not working. Why isn't this working? One moment. One moment. The hang on.
do we
It's
have the right slide?
technical issues right now for some reason. Technical issues. So yeah,
There it
there
is.
was an incredible finish. Competitors were racing for a really long time, it seems, or maybe not that long actually. It was a relatively
No,
short race, from what I understand.
it was a very quick race. Yeah, yeah,
It was a
yeah.
very quick race.
But
Photo
with
finish
back
at
to
the end.
back, really close.
When it
Yeah,
ended, we actually didn't know who won right away. Right?
yeah.
Multiple people were claiming victory.
We had to just look at the timers and who actually finished
I mean,
first
yeah,
before the others.
it was certainly an incredible photo finish. I don't know if people saw this, but the world race between Grind and Serenity was so close, unbelievably close. Um,
It was
21
20
seconds.
seconds. 21 seconds. Yeah. We had to resort to Eorsia time.
Eorzea time. Okay. So
And I,
so my question is now
mhm.
the two teams that won were not streaming, correct?
Yeah, they were not streaming.
Okay. 21 seconds. I mean, I'm sure that's both for both teams. It's an incredible achievement. But I'm wondering, like, if anyone is thinking that they said just I need a second before we pull for any reason. Do you
I
think they
think
second guess themselves like that?
I think that happened between Neko and Lucretia.
Okay,
I don't know about Grind and the other team. They
Serenity.
were because we don't know, right? Like we just
Yeah.
knew they clear, and that's
Okay.
it. But I think between Echo and Lucretia that they were close back to back. It the two of them too, like thinking they were like going to win world first.
Yeah.
I think Echo decided to last pull, then wait for like a couple of seconds to organize something of the
Okay.
strat or whatever not, and that defined third and fourth.
Oh man, I feel that's got to be brutal. I mean, it's an incredible achievement by itself, but when you're at that level, those fine margins, that's got to be brutal.
I mean, yes, but I think at least for Lucretia and Echo, I think they should have taken the time before. They were right there. It was just the last mechanic
Yeah.
that they need to like clean up. And because they want to be like world first, they just didn't took the time to just think and say, okay, what are we doing wrong here with this mechanic? Can we do it better? And just
Okay.
execute it right instead of trying to triple because they tried like 3-4 pulls on enrage
Okay.
and they failed on like the last laser cannon, or someone forgot about the knockback, or someone didn't go into the right spot when it's everything is crossing around,
Yeah.
and it was a wipe.
Okay.
If they just took like that extra minute, 2 minutes to just say no, let's perfect it on our heads, and then we go, they might be were first on stream.
Yeah. Well, uh, I'll say our group had a good time. I think we grew as a group, which is good. This is my group's Mog's Guard. Mog's Guard. We should get like a Moogle in armor or something as a mascot. But uh, we finished. It's not updated on the tracker, but according to FF logs, at the time that we uploaded, we were the 50th team to upload. So I haven't gone back and checked, but I'm taking that as that we finished in the top 50.
No, probably because that was one of the resources I tried to use to
Okay.
for the war race to determine who was
Yeah.
on
It.
first, and it says like when it not when it was uploaded, when it was killed on GMT.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So it's not it doesn't do it when it was uploaded, but when we uploaded, there were 50 logs up and we were number 50 when we uploaded. From my understanding, but it's not important. That part isn't important. The important thing for our team is that we did a week one clear, and that was our goal going in, was to clear in week one. It took us 2 lockouts to get through the first boss, less than 2 lockouts to get through the second boss. That B mechanic pheromone, where you have to bait all the things. I had to take the Discord audio off of that log because it was just not appropriate what people were saying.
what were what were they saying?
Just like profanity ridden tirades coming out of raiders who had been raiding for, at that point, 5.5 hours. Just I was like, all right, we're just gonna, because Jet showed me how to separate the audio from the video of different sources, and I still had Discord checked as a different one. So I was like, all right, we're just gonna take out, we're not gonna upload the audio of Queen Bee. Not me, I'm not saying much. Um, but my teammates had less than kind words to say about Queen Bee, so I took that particular audio, didn't make it onto the YouTube.
Jesus
Um,
Christ.
it took us basically like 3.5 lockouts to get through Bomberman, the Brit Bomber, the one that Frosty's fighting in the preview screen,
Mm-hmm.
and then it took us basically 7 and like a couple of half lockouts that we did here and there. So maybe you call it 8, but less than 8, but more than 7, less than 8 lockouts to get through the final fight.
M4. That's nice.
Yeah.
Do you ever agree with the rest of the rating community with Statics that this is the easiest tier ever?
Easiest tier ever. No. Um, and the reason for that is the O1 through 4S I think is easiest tier ever, because that first fight against Altroy is so easy. Um, when you fight the little worm guy, that fight is, I think, and
Mm-hmm.
then the tier does not get terribly much. I mean, it does get tricky, but it doesn't get harder. Um, it's not a difficult tier though. There's
Okay.
there was no mechanic that we looked at and didn't understand how to resolve it. Not even like looking at footage, but just um, like looking at it live. So like the mechanic that Frosty just did, where he gets chained to someone, where you get chained to. Actually, I'm going to use Frosty's. Can I back up on this? I can't control this, can
No.
I? Okay. Um, but basically, when we saw the mechanic where you're chained to someone, and you have to get hit by the one you're chained to, and then you dodge the one you're not chained to, we didn't 8 out of 8 survive it, but 8 out of 8 of us were like, oh, that's how we solved that. You get hit by the one you're chained to, you dodge the next one, and we cleared that. We never got stuck on that mechanic again. Maybe someone was late or time, but like that mechanic didn't get us stuck. And I never felt like there was a difficult mechanic. Like
What about the pseudo tsunami of M4 that you have to get? It's the wild charge into spreads with the cones and then wild charge again.
the which one? Are you talking about the transition or the one again where he blows up half a platform or most of the time.
Where he blows like half the platform or
Oh,
the entirety
that
of
that
the
mechanic
platform.
we
Yeah.
decided that was a free mechanic. That was a whenever we got to that mechanic, we were taking a breath because we didn't think that was difficult at all. Because we said that if you're DPS, you go left. If you're support, you go down the right. And if you have to bait an arrow, that was really quickly to solve. That was not difficult at all. We I think we had two pulls, and it was the only issue we had was around MIT. Actually, we had some MIT questions. I don't know if they weren't issues. They were just like, how do we MIT this appropriately? Um, it was not a difficult thing to resolve. So um, no, the first fight I would say the first fight was very easy. Um, it's can you stand in the right spot? I was thinking about this, and I don't know if we talked about this on the show, but I looked and it's in the news to cover that some time ago, Final Fantasy Square Enix hired a new battle designer,
Uh huh.
and so my hot take is this feels like a battle designer's first Savage tier. They didn't they didn't take risks. This was not a risky tier. There were no
No. Yeah.
like nothing here is objectively difficult. I'm watching Frosty's stream right now, and I'm like, yeah, it's Frosty's not having a difficult time. Like a static would not have to do that. Party Finder, different animal, differently completed, different thing. Um, a lot of people have talked about the DPS check, and it's probably an issue, but it's not a reason the tier is easy. The reason the tier is easy is because messing up is not punishing.
Okay. Yeah, I can see it. Like most of it's not. Also, I think it feels way less punishing now because we come from a tier that it was all body checks. But if you
That's
missed a
true.
body check, it was like a wipe immediately, right? So I don't. I'm assuming like the community doesn't feel that pressure anymore right now on this tier. But man, try to do M2 on PF and get a heart like
That's
a
true.
buff up on the B, and it's like it's over.
So one shot in chat raises a good question. Do you think it's with the new players it was appropriate to have an easier tier? That's actually a really good point because if there are a lot of new players, we know there's a whole bunch of new Xbox players. Um, we know there's a whole bunch of just people who have like WoW's numbers have gone up, and Square Enix has said their subscriptions are at an all time high. So does it make sense for new players? And the only concern I would have is if this I think this tier is pretty like not difficult. It's like the easiest tier they've had. But like if this difficulty of a tier um, sets the expectations going forward, because if we go from this tier to something of the difficulty of P8S next tier, then that might be a little bit like a reality check for people.
Yeah, that's what was going to say. Like, I agree that this tier should have been this easy for new players and in general new raiders. I think that's okay. But I don't. I hope they gradually get the extra difficulty for the rest of the expansion, right?
Yeah,
And not do a P8S again. Like don't go and say, okay, this is the next hard fight, and suddenly it's way too hard for the community that they need to nerf it and say it was a mistake,
yeah.
and it was just a 1%, right?
It just got it was a 1% health debuff or reduction. Um,
Yeah, yeah. So
I
so it's like
I do want to take a moment here. Whenever I say things are easy, I'm talking about relative to the rest of the tiers in the game. It really bothers me when I'm struggling with someone and someone says, "Oh, that's easy," right? I'm not trying to say the game is easy or the game is difficult. I'm not making that judgment. I'm judging it relative to the other tiers. Uh, I
but
just in case I know people, some people, because when I was playing, I said, "Oh, this tier is easy," and someone in chat actually said, "Well, I've actually been really struggling with it." And I'm like, "Well, okay, I don't. It is one of the most like a pet peeve of mine to say something is easy, and then if you're struggling with it, I understand that like there might be a skill difference, but I don't want to say that it's easy because easy or difficult. I'm saying it's easy relative to other tiers. if that makes
But
sense.
is it though? Is it that easier than other tiers? Because I'm thinking of was it Eden Promise? No, Eden Promise. No, Eden Bears. Eden Bears, which was the first tier of that of
Hmm.
Shadowbringers.
Yeah.
The first boss, it didn't have like any puzzle mechanic. It was just the spread stacks, tank busters and tethers. And that
Uh,
was it.
no, that you had the when you
You
come
had
back
the
the
rotating.
rotating balls. That was enough of a puzzle mechanic because that was also the first time that we had seen that.
No,
Really?
that was a mechanic that was used on
What am I forgetting?
012 Omega,
Which one?
the last Omega raid,
Oh, you're
raid
right.
with the arms.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it debate the arms. You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah. And if I remember correctly, during Shadowbringers, even either on one of the extremes or one of the dungeons or something like that, we saw those rotating arms
Yeah,
also
you're right.
before
Yeah.
the Savage. So it was like, okay, it's puzzly, but it wasn't the big puzzle. It's just aim it outside the party.
Yeah.
The second one was like a more a big DPS check than anything else. It was not mechanical difficulty.
Yeah.
The third, I can't remember which one was. Oh, Leviathan. Leviathan. It's probably was the most puzzly of all that tier,
Yeah.
and the big wall. And then Titan was just like M4, as no not a door boss, a big transition, flashy, not super hard on mechanics. It was a DPS and healing check,
Okay.
kinda ish.
It was certainly
And
DPS.
then
Yeah. I I didn't think that there was no DPS check at this point in this fight. Um, at any point, like we I think we cleared M4S with like 10 deaths or 10 deaths plus damage downs.
I believe you. I believe you. Like, yeah, this tier feels like it's more a mechanical check than anything else. You have
Yeah.
like a some sort of healing and mitigation checks here and there that are not way too big, but you need to pay attention. But mechanically, if you fail, you lose a lot, especially on PF, right? Like on DPS
Yeah.
or healing or resources. So I can see like any static having no issue at all on this tier and nothing like that. But
Yeah.
I don't think it's that different from other first turns or first Savage of expansions
Okay.
on how difficult it is.
I disagree a little bit. I think like the lack of DPS checks, the fact that you can white knuckle your way through like, white knuckle. You can like execute most of the mechanic right and not die. Right? That was a frequent thing that happened. Like, oh, I mostly did the mechanic right. I didn't die. I'm okay. I never felt like you had to be clean. And in fact, we weren't clean when we were messing around. Um, what else? Yeah, there's no. I never felt in any of the fights that I was struggling to understand what to do. Um, there was multiple times when me and people on my static were struggling to execute it for sure. That happened all the time. But there was never a moment where like, why did I die? I'm like, no, I know why I died. I did the dumb thing. I blew up. Um, yeah, and then the second part of M4S is in phase two after transition. It's basically an extreme level difficulty fight. It's not
Oh
difficult.
yeah,
The hardest part is the beginning mechanics. Um, and what I would say to this is I like in E4S, E8S, and E12S have signature mechanics that were difficult to resolve, right?
yeah. It was the puzzle expansion.
In the puzzle expansion.
No, yeah.
I never felt like this was a difficult to resolve. Like there's no light rampant. Yeah, all right. So Indy's making the point here. There's no light rampant. Um, there's no real. Yeah, the heal. There is some mid check in 3 and 4, but it's not overly difficult.
Now, do you think the lack of difficulty is because the community complained about all the body checks on the last expansion, and they were like not able to proc the fight after PTNS because a single member of were they not in control, they just wiped the party and didn't make the stack or the spread correctly.
I would be interested. I don't know the answer, but I'd be interested to know. Like that's a good question. It's like I mean, listen, we spent the first month of this expansion complaining it was too difficult. That's what
Yeah,
the
that's what
community
I'm saying.
did.
Like,
And then we said, "Oh, healing is too easy," and then they made healing kind of punishing. If you get those bleeds in the bombard towers, they're not a joke. You can't just ignore those. Um, no, those are real. Um, I don't know if I don't I because we know that the battle design we think we know that the battle designers knew. It would be hard to be sure what informed that process making. Um, because there are no body checks really in the first three fights. In the fourth fight, there is. If someone's dead and that person's responsible for a mechanic, that mechanic goes off on someone else. But in like M1S, the first fight in this tier, if the healer's dead for the healer stack, it just doesn't happen. It doesn't go on the other healer. It just
mm,
doesn't happen.
I understand what you're saying, but I think that there are body checks. It's just that they are soft body
Yeah.
checks. For instance, in M1, when you're doing the clones and you have to bait the AoEs and the lines,
Mm-hmm.
if you are missing someone, that messes up the mechanic, right? If
Yeah.
you miss DPS or a heal or a support, that messes the mechanic and could cause a wipe. Not necessarily, but could cause a wipe.
Yeah.
On M2, if someone get too many hearts, not everyone can soak the tower, or you get the stack at the end.
Yeah.
Same with there's a couple of mechanics like that on M2 with the hearts. On M3, it's probably the closest to the body check with the fuses and the towers, the knockback towers.
Yep. Yeah. The
But
knockback towers are
like
a
you
body
say,
check.
yeah, but like you say, it's like soft body checks. It's not hard body checks like P12S or
Yeah.
a bit of P10S.
Because I
Yeah,
think you could actually get through the knockback towers with one missing person.
you can make it with two or three person missing if you are just healing and put
Yeah,
the
if you
bail and
if you
whatever.
just if you only heal, that's true. You can. Um, but yeah. All right, Jet. Today is National Day of the what, Jet?
Today is National Day of the Blogger.
Of the blogger,
Uh, of the blogger with the normal the big B, not the UVV.
not the honeybee.
UVV. Oh my god.
Press
Oh,
B
but
to
yeah,
blame Jet.
it's yeah. Please do. This is the National Day of the Blogger every August 5 of the year. So just
Okay.
go out and make a blog. Make a blog. Go complain about something.
I think in a world where print media is dying, we saw that recently with Game Informer shutting down. I don't think I think that this might be the last National Day of the blogger.
You think so? I don't know. I think writing is something that is not just going to go away that
My
easily in
my
general.
my attention span is 140 characters. If I don't understand what I'm reading next week,
Yeah, it's been like that for forever
that's
in
true.
the writing thing, right? Like you want something fast and quick, but that doesn't keep up with the times. Like you will forget a short story or the name of the author of short story on
Yeah.
writing, but you will never forget who wrote uh, Romeo and Juliet or something bigger, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Billy wrote Romeo and Juliet. We know that. Very famous,
God
Billy.
damn it. God damn it, quick. But yeah, it's. I think there's like a use somewhere there
But
for writing.
but Jet, since we missed a week, we actually have a lot of stories to catch up on. So we're gonna do them rapid fire, really, really quickly. We're just gonna run through them, and then we're gonna stop and talk about League of Legends and Olympics. All right, ready?
I'm not after that statement,
Boom,
but
boom,
go
boom,
on.
boom. Da-da-da-da. Rapid fire. Ready? Here we go. Skibidi Toilet is a film currently in the works directed by Michael Bay. That headline again: Hollywood should stop making movies. GTA Publishers is worried that GTA Publisher Take Two is worried that they might get review bombed, citing the recent review bombing of Helldivers. And good, they should be afraid. If you treat your customers badly, you should be bombed, review bombed, not
Mm.
bombed. Very important. A Fortnite player was banned for 2 million days. 2 million days. That still means he'll be unbanned before Half-Life 3. And that was the rapid fire. Sorry, this is an experiment. That's an experiment. We're experimenting with that formatting. So we'll see if we like it. We'll keep it. Just rapid fire headlines. I think is very funny. Just do a one click thing that it requires me to not be busy on Monday, so I can sit down and write these punchlines and go through a bunch of headlines. But I think I like it. I think it's fun.
Yeah, I have a question for you, quick.
Yeah.
After you finish World Pro and you just clear M4, did you go and did you just sit on your chair and said, what is the most toxic thing I can do right now?
I try not to be toxic. Um, I did try. I did go back into PF and try to help people get clears and help people get book runs, um,
So
which was a
you did
disaster.
the toxic thing. It's just like that Olympic player.
The little big player. So so after so this Olympian got a bronze medal in slalom canoeing. Canoeing. Uh, he's this is Pal Echanes. This is a Spanish name.
Yes.
Jet, help me out. Echanes. I said it right.
Yeah, you said it right.
Okay, so
Paul
he got a
Chance.
bronze medal in the slaloming 2 days ago, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm bronze in the slaloming canoeing slalom. I don't know how to say it, um, but I'm also bronze in league, and that's gotta be infuriating to be really good at something and then to be like bronze in league. Like I'm not great at league because I've never played it, but I imagine if I could just RNG my way into silver.
But that's why I was asking, like, you just won the bronze medal in the
Yeah,
Olympic Games, like in front of everyone in
yeah.
the world, basically. And the first thing you decide is to go and compare that to your League of Legends uh, progress. It's like, what? Why?
I if I listen, if I in the real world, I've given speeches in front of over 10,000 people, listen speaking. Um, I get more nervous about this podcast than those speeches.
I know the connection is the but
Because
still,
of the
it's.
bronze. What we're saying is, Jet, when you get a bronze in league, you're basically an Olympic level League of Legends player. That's what we're saying.
I don't think that is how it works, but let's just agree on that.
How what do you mean that's not how it works? It's clear. We have the evidence right in front of us. It's on the screen.
Yeah, it is. But for League of Legends, there is something above gold. It's what? Platinum? It's
It's a,
platinum, diamond, crystal. I
listen,
think
as someone who
it's
does a
been a
lot,
while.
as someone who has been stuck in PvP in in Final Fantasy, being a bronze in PvP in Final Fantasy is just like being a bronze in the Olympics. I swear, there's nothing above gold. Those other tiers don't exist. I've never seen them, therefore they don't exist.
I have some bad news for you, quick.
What's up?
I've seen those tiers. I am rank crystal. I was rank crystal for the first
You're right,
PvP,
Crystal.
first and second season of PvP of Crystal in Conflict.
Okay, okay.
So
Well,
they exist.
they exist. All right, I'll take your word. They exist. I am slightly kidding. I've been up to Crystal once in the like early tiers. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, no. But after we cleared the tier, I went back into some PFs to sort of improve my performance, and I went into an M3S party. It was a book run. They just wanted to clear, and I this was before my logs had been posted on FF logs or whatever. Um, and so they weren't updated on the Tombstone website. And I'm sitting there with the weapon from M4S, uh, and the party leader is like, "Hey, you haven't you haven't progged this fight." And I said, "What do you mean? I'm literally holding the weapon from M4S." And he's like, "Well, Tombstone says you hadn't cleared this fight," and then they kicked me from the party. And I was like, "What?" That
It's
was
still
this
very
was before
stupid.
any polls had occurred. This was just like we loaded in the instance, and then someone's like, "Hey, you haven't progged this fight." Instantly removed from the party. I was like, "What? Hang on." I'm holding the paintbrush because in our group the paintbrush dropped, and Indy Lohan,
Yeah, like I
our raid
said, you
lead,
you bought it. You bought it
I,
quick.
I
I don't
must have
know.
bought
You
it.
you
Yeah,
paid to win.
I'm just astounded of this community sometimes. The
No
weapon
logs, no
doesn't count. Yeah,
clear.
if you don't log it, the weapon doesn't count.
If you don't log, you don't exist for the raiding community.
That's true. That's
Oh
true.
man, that's. I hope that's not going to be the case for the rest of the expansion because oh man, I hate Shadowbringers at the end of Shadowbringers just because of that.
I just think Tombstone is not a.
Not
I'm
even the log, not even FF logs. It's like you say, you play on PlayStation,
yeah.
so you are
I,
not like anyone playing on PlayStation cannot log anything
or
on their own.
Xbox.
So or Xbox. So come on.
Oh man, I don't know. This community, I just think that this community is a little bit. Usually it's very very good, but sometimes you just run into people who are so eccentric. I know it's
So eccentric.
I can't I don't have it in me to say mean things about people, so that's what I'm going to say. I
I
have
like
such
that one. I like
have
that
such
one.
peculiarities that I just can't understand how you get to the place where it's not on Tombstone, therefore you didn't clear. Like I'm holding the weapon, my dude.
Remember, Chad,
Uh,
every next time you're going to PF and someone is mean, instead of just engaging with them like in a mean way, just call them. You are very eccentric, dude.
you're very eccentric. Very eccentric.
Don't go. Don't say chill out or we're pro. No, just say you are very eccentric, dude.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's what I meant. It was eccentric. All right,
God damn.
Jet. WoW is following in the example of other game studios who have decided to unionize. They join basically other Blizzard studios. So the COD team has a union, um, and WoW has a union. And listen, the WoW employees need it. If you ever read some of the in the lead up to Activision Blizzard being sold, some of the accusations that were around, they need one. They need more than just an HR
They
department
need
that doesn't
several
solve
unions.
problems.
Yeah.
So yeah, um,
Yeah, yeah.
generally on this podcast, we're pro uh, unions in the arts for sure. I don't want to say pro unions because that's like a political thing, and we're in the spheres that we care about. We're pro unions for sure. Um,
Okay, listen, Chad. You have an eco-terrorist and an anarchist. So yeah,
yeah,
we're kind
I'm
of
actually an
on pro
eco-terrorist.
of this.
My career choice was formed when I was a small child playing Final Fantasy VII, and it's like, oh, eco-terrorism is fun. I want to make that my career, so that's what I ended up doing.
Yeah, it's basically the same reasons. I just didn't read the eco-terrorism. I just read terrorism, so
Oh,
I'm just an anarchist.
there you go. There you go. See, that's so. Anyways, um, we're generally in
Pro of
favor
the
of
unions.
of labor, especially in the industries that we care about. And SAG-AFTRA is striking against voice actors are striking about it, and I wanted to break it down, but we found a video that's going to do it for us.
Okay,
100
would you
years.
guys mind not using our faces, voices, or likenesses to make money without compensating us? Of course not. The ethical and moral implications of such a thing would be bafflingly antagonistic. Okay, great. So if you could just sign this contract, no. So you do want to steal the method by which we make our livelihood and teach artificial intelligence to use them so you could replicate them without our permission or compensation? Well, that would be ridiculous. Nobody wants that. I certainly would be upset if a robot tried to take my job. Amazing. Then we're in agreement. If you could just put that in the contract, absolutely not. But you're promising that you won't do it? Yes, of course. So you could just put it in the... No. But we need it in writing if we're not going to happen. You realize that a promise in written form is just called a contract. Snowball's chance in hell. Well, I guess that means we're gonna have to go on strike. Now, why on earth would you be so unreasonable? Okay, would you guys...
But yeah, SAG-AFTRA striking for AI, and generally in favor of this. I'm aware that this is loosely a losing battle. I think AI is coming for the video game industry really, really quickly. I use AI at work. It makes me a more productive human being. But I'm also like, whenever I'm doing it, I'm like, am I just training this thing to do my job for me later? So no, like this is the fear that I have whenever I use this tool. So I'm always like making I make it do little mistakes. This is just like a thing, and then I fix mistakes on the output. But on the AI side, where it can read my work, I put in mistakes. I don't know. I don't think that does anything, but that's just the paranoia that I have when I'm using the AI.
Mike, I think it's valid. I think it's very valid, but I agree. Like the AI is going to come for video games at some point sooner than later, sadly.
And the reality is, as we saw with Palmon, if the game is fun, people will play it. That's just the reality of it. If the game is good, if the game is interesting, engaging, people will play it. And as much as people are like, don't play Palmon because it uses AI, I can imagine a world where there's don't use this video game because it uses AI voices that were copied from some of the voice actors that we care about.
Yeah, but I think. Yeah, I think that this strike is in the right moment because they can just agree that at the end of the strike, video games are going to use AI and they are going to copy their voices. They just want the revenue in 20, 30 years when they are using their voices, right?
Yeah.
Even if they are not even training anymore or something like that.
I think that they're going to need royalties. And I don't know where this ends. And I don't know. I mean, if they agree something, I think it's great. But I think it's... I think here's my general experience with AI. I hate it, mostly because when I'm trying to search something on Google, it's like AI predicts what you want to search. I'm like, this isn't what I wanted. I need like a button on Google saying, "Can I just go back to your old search engine, not whatever you think I wanted to search for?" like Google's becoming more and more less and less useful as a resource to learn for me.
I just VPN to a different country, to Mexico or something. I don't have that issue. We don't have AI.
Oh, you don't have. You don't. Oh man.
It doesn't show the AI results. It's just the sponsor ones.
I need to VPN to Mexico. Living in Europe
In a
is just
developer.
not good.
Yeah, just try to offshore your research or just your search in general to a developer country. We just don't have the tools. There is no technology here.
That's actually like I'm never going to be the person who wants to like roll back technology, but like sometimes I'm just like, why does not have this innovation? I would be much happier.
Yeah, sadly, on that note, sadly, Twitch just pushed the new update where Twitch is like TikTok but with the streams, and it's very annoying to find a streamer.
Yeah, the Twitch app is worse now.
Yeah.
So chat, if I can just peel back the wall here, I actually manage stream chat on a phone. Like I just have my phone and it says manage your stream. That's how I do it. And now it's worse. It just got worse. The phone app got worse.
It was bad. Now it's worse. It's really interesting.
I don't know like who said, "Oh, this is a good idea." Like, no, this is not a good idea. You've made it worse. This is actually just the worst product on Twitch. And you know, the predictive text thing. So predictive text is useful, but the AI version of it is a little creepy. Because
I haven't seen that.
okay, Jet. So if you haven't seen this, we have it in. I'll use my work email as an example because it's a degree of separation. It um, it will basically ingest all the parts of the email that you've read, like all the email, like if you're on a long email chain. And so when you say things like, "Oh, as per my email," and then it will like predict, it'll fill in like, "Do you want to say?" And then it'll have like a paragraph of what your last emails were, and it really, really freaks me out because it's actually reading my emails and then putting in a predictive text. And I'm like, that's not just predictive text. That's ingesting my
Yeah,
emails.
it's just
and
taking the
then-
information somewhere. Like, go
And I'm like-
find it. This is it. I want it. Okay.
And I get that it's in the name of efficiency, but it's also really, really creepy.
I don't know. You're kind of old school. Like, I get why it's really creepy, but at the same time, it's like, fuck. Like they for me, on a mail that you're describing like that, it's like, look, because you're probably scolding someone on the other side of the mail,
I don't
right?
scold.
Like you're saying,
I'm a pleasure to work for. People love working.
but well, you're trying to prove a point
Yeah.
that the other person is just not making. Like, if the AI is saying like, this is what I was trying to say, and you're not getting it, I don't know. Like, dude, just get another job, something like that.
I just think I deeply empathize or sympathize. I sympathize.
I don't know.
Empathize?
I don't
In
know.
this case, in
for
this
that,
particular
English
case,
is weird.
I both empathize and sympathize with the SAG-AFTRA strike, but I think this is ultimately a losing battle. I just I think what's going to come down to is if the games are fun, people aren't going to care that it was AI. If the games are crappy, AI will be the first thing that they blame. Let me put that clear.
Yeah.
If the game is bad,
yes,
you used AI, bad game developer.
absolutely. But also, I think the strike is more for the big companies, the triple A companies.
Yeah.
So they just don't become overlords of video gaming industry. Like, I don't think anyone cares if an indie game uses a tiny bit of AI because it's indie. They just resource to that because it was cheaper for them, right? But when you see like Square Enix saying, I didn't hire anyone for voice acting because I didn't want to, and I use AI. That seems like very bad in the public eye, I think.
But what about like Palmon was made almost a lot of it was made with AI. We know that, right?
I don't think they proved, but that's the general idea. Yes.
And people didn't care. I mean, there was a lot of
like I said, that's an indie. People care, but people care that Nintendo sue them.
They didn't get
or
sued.
the Pokemon Company.
No, they didn't get sued.
No,
they threatened to sue. They never actually sued. This is the big
no, because there was no there was no proof of AI or just copying stuff.
And let me tell you, Nintendo is one of the most litigious protectors of their intellectual property. That they just are on. I don't know how to put it. I don't have a good analogy. They aggressively protect their IP.
Yeah.
And if they didn't go after Palmon, it's because they probably couldn't. They probably couldn't figure out what it was. And that's likely because the laws haven't caught up to the technology, or it was just different enough, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, well, probably both. Probably like it's different enough, and it was like there was not a single law probably in Japan against AI.
Okay.
Work.
That's true. Yeah. Probably. I mean, it definitely hasn't caught up yet.
Hopefully they do soon.
I don't know, man. I don't know what they could do. I'm just going back. I just go back to me like messing with my work AI. I hope I'm training it to be an idiot. This is how I keep my job secure.
But no, think about this quick. If you train your AI to be an idiot, and the AI will rule the entire humanity, because that's going to happen. That's what all the movies have told us. We're gonna be ruled by an idiot AI.
It's okay. if they use my work AI to rule us, a simple function inside of a function if then statement will mess it up completely, and we can overthrow them tomorrow. That's really really simple. This is the most common mistake I put in the thing because I know how to fix it. I just put the bracket back in when I put it in post. So we'll be able to overthrow AI just like messing up just very small coding errors, very intentionally stupid coding errors. That's how we take it back.
That's that. Yeah, I can see the movie of the people that free us from the AI, just going into the core and saying, "Oh yeah, and here's the quick way of
me
fixing it."
as the one with the knowledge of how to mess up AI will then be the hero of the world.
Yeah,
I will have done the Final Fantasy thing where I save the world. I am the warrior of light. This is what I am. I am the
So
real
this is your master plan. I think you're more like Xeno instead of the warrior of light because you're training this. You're trying to make this happen and have the solution for it. In the eventuality, it goes.
Jet. I'm not Xeno. What you're describing, where you create the problem and then solve it, that's marketing. That's just marketing.
Oh man, yeah.
That's all it is. All right, a couple of fun community events to talk about if people are interested. Friday night maps should return. Will likely return. Guessing it'll return. Friday night maps. Be the problem. Friday night maps is a thing we used to do. Bring any maps. Come Friday night. Bring any maps. I will ping the usual channels, the Discord, the people, and we'll just run maps on Friday night. We won't go unless we have at least 4, and if we have 8 people, I will stop pinging people. And then there was a lot of discussion about wanting to do Bosja, and as someone who is who needs all the achievement points he can get to keep up with Cider Spider, and it's close. If I queue this up right, on your screen, Project Stay Ahead of Cider Spider didn't quite work out. Hang on. There's a missing image. One moment while I fix the missing image. Almost ready. Almost did it. Okay. So Saturday, Bozja, a couple people expressed they wanted to do this. I don't know if we'll do this on... we might do it on stream. Why not? If we do it on stream, I'll make sure that everyone's okay with it. If not, we'll just do it without being on stream. But basically, I'm trying to say, hey, Spider, he's on the right on your screen. I'm on the left. Basically 700 points ahead of him. Slowly chipping away. He's slowly chipping away at my lead, so I need to get back to work. So, Bosja Saturdays might become a thing until we've all completed all we want to do in Bosja. It'll likely be Saturday evenings, loosely, or yeah. I'll figure out a time. It'll be, and I'll ping the people who I know were interested. I know this and that Jazz was interested. One Shot was interested. I think Jet, you said you wanted to do it, or at least that come through.
Yeah, sure. I can help a bit. I might need some notes from Bosja.
Yeah. I have a lot of achievements to get through here, so I'm motivated to do this. So I'm doing this mostly for me, but also because people wanted to do it, and I want to play games with my friends. This is why I'm on Twitch. It's to make friends and play video games with them. All right, friends. YouTube, we're going to play the outro and then hang out with chat for a bit.
Bye, YouTube. Bye.
Bye, YouTube.
See you later.
That's the wrong button.